This is WPSL Port St. Lucie.
The views expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of WPSL. However, I'll give you a clue. We're the ones who've originally encouraged you all along since the very beginning to go ahead and like and share this show with all of your friends and neighbors because it's all about caring. The science of caring. Careology, presented by CareBag and hosted by Roxy Brown. Well, you know, yeah. That's what makes a successful radio host. Talking to them.
Talk to yourself.
Talking to
Not
them people.
Crazy today.
Yeah, talking to them like you're talking to one person, just that one person
But
listening.
I love talking to everyone. So let's start this again. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Careology. And I hope everyone is having a fantastic evening. I don't know about you, but the weather has been spectacular. Oh, yeah. I am just loving this. If you are driving home, if you're driving to work, from work, if you're just tuning in, listening to the news, getting all that great information, I am so glad that you're tuning back in with us. It is great to be here. For those that have been texting and asking me, I am feeling much, much better. So I'm thanking God for that, feeling much better. And with all the craziness going on, alligators killing people, war still going on, I'm just so happy that everything is still good. We are still above ground, and I'm just so happy to be here. And I just want to thank Channel 25 WPBF for basically doing a little piece on CareBag, and they've been playing it on Channel 25. And I want to thank Natalia Pozo for the beautiful story that she did. I saw it, and I was like, wow. We're going to have it up on our website tomorrow, and I encourage anyone to go to givecarebag.com. That will take you to our official website, that you're able to see that video. And to let everyone know, our office is open again this Thursday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Our shower units are going to be up and running in Fort Pierce by March the 13th. So we're excited about that at the First Methodist Church right here on Orange Avenue. I'll be there tomorrow doing a little run through with the volunteers there. And then our other shower unit's going to be going to West Palm for a couple of days, Macedonia right here in Delaware. It's just getting around. People are in need. Every day someone's calling me, can we use your shower unit? So many people are living in their cars. So many people are living in vans. Yes, Martianne is here with me. She's a little under the weather, but she's doing much better. And we just want to know that we can help everyone. We can give them a little love. And giving love and dignity is by providing showers, providing hygiene items. And that's what we do at CareBag Incorporated. Careology is a subsidiary of CareBag. We are a nonprofit, and we've been around for 6 years. January 17th made 6 years, and we're doing great. And we're serving, and we're just loving what we're doing, and we're looking for volunteers. I know I have a couple calls to make, but like I said, I've been a little under the weather, so just bear with me. And Cliff knows we're going to get it out. When I need rest, Cliff, huh?
Oh, yeah. And now, last week we met a new
One of my
part-time
new hosts.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Miles McGrath. Yeah.
Miles McGrath, yes, and he'll be coming on once a month. And I loved what he talked about last week, sleep.
Yeah.
And you know, I started going to bed early, and it really worked.
And it seemed to me that ever since then I've been hearing about sleep on all the newscasts, on all the news stations, all day. It's kind of strange, you know, you bring stuff up that happens to be topical and current.
That's right.
Absolutely, and that's what this show's all about. Is getting people in the mood to care, and encourage their ability to go ahead and just do it, like they said on the Nike ad, right?
Just do it.
Just
I
do
love
it.
that.
Yep,
Just do it.
Yep.
So I know one thing, but I know his topic for next month is going to be really good. Laughter.
Oh, yeah.
Because you need to laugh. Let me tell you something. When you laugh, you it's like that. People want to know the secret of turning back the hands of time. Sleep and laughter.
Yeah.
The more you laugh, the less frown lines you have in your face. Everyone says, Roxy, you don't got any frown lines or crow's feet. I laugh. I laugh at you. I laugh with you. I laugh together. I laugh because laughing is
like
good medicine.
It's like a supplement.
It is.
It's a
It is.
booster.
Laughter is the best medicine. And you know what? We need that.
Yeah.
Our condolences to the lady that was killed by the monster out of the lake. The monster out of the lake, the alligator, it's just really sad. And, our condolences go out to the family. Our
Oh, yeah.
condolences goes out to the young man who was killed this week in Fort Pierce over dominoes. The gentleman never ran away. He stayed there. He surrendered himself. But people are just hot headed these days.
Yeah, too high-headed.
Too
They
hot-headed.
need to
Too,
chill.
we need to tell. So we're gonna turn the times. I had a good friend. Hi, Jet. Hello to all our social people watching us on social media and our digital web all over the world. If you want to go in and give us some questions or anything, please do. We are happy to take the questions and anything you may have. We're so happy for that, and we encourage that also. So our topic tonight, thanks to a good friend of mine, is going to be healthy relationships. What's a good sign of healthy relationships? And what to look for, what not to look for. What are we sometimes this is a good question that I'm going to throw out there to make people think. A lot of people say, "Oh, I want to be in a relationship. I want to find my forever. I want to find a person that loves me." But are you ready for a relationship?
And are you lovable in the first place? Because in order to be loved,
Excuse
you'd
me.
have to be lovable.
Well, before that being lovable, you got to love yourself.
Yes.
I said that last week. It was Valentine's Day. You can't be trying to throw out love and trying to catch it if you don't love yourself. You're giving off a lot of pheromones. You're giving off a lot that doesn't show that you love yourself. When you love yourself, you're going to be able to love freely. And that's a sign of a healthy relationship. But it's more than just a healthy relationship. It's your mental capacity on really enjoying a healthy relationship. And that's what we want to look at. And we're going to open up our phone lines if anyone has any I'm going to say that really good. If anyone has any short observation that they'd like to make, and if anybody's online that would like to jot something down and let us know, I'll be happy to read it, because I think relationships are healthy, are good. I don't think God never wanted us to be alone. So being in a relationship we're going to start from that end. God never wanted us to be alone. That's why he created Adam and Eve. He said man should not be alone. So he created woman. So that means there were two people. We're going to just start off with that. So you were meant to be with someone. That's number one. But you have to find the healthy part of being with someone. So everyone has a list of things that they have. But the first thing I'm going to say is you need to love yourself. And when you love, first and foremost, if you're in a space that you're uncomfortable with how you look or how you feel, don't start looking for a relationship, because then you're going to pinpoint whatever they think of what perfect is, or whatever they think you should look. You're going to want to go ahead and you're going to want to emulate that, because you don't know what yourself is. Okay? My hair is short. I'm not going to look for someone to talk about, "Oh, I like long hair." I'm not wearing a wig. People, I'm not wearing a wig. You see me, you take me as I am. This is me. Some women, some men, the minute they meet someone and they suggest something, they just boom and just fall into it because they haven't found themselves. So we want to talk about finding yourself. So if anyone's taking notes from the Careologist Roxy, the first thing you got to do is love yourself. That's number one. When you love yourself, it's all going to just start falling in. The next thing is a healthy relationship is built commonly on respect. When you respect each other, you're going to be able to have a conversation. You're going to be able to do things with each other that just makes it nice, with just that, "Hi, Cliff, how you doing?" And you can talk back just in a nice way. And that's what we're looking for. And then you want to have trust. If you've come out of a bad relationship, or if you're looking for someone to go ahead and help you think of how you're thinking about yourself, that's not going to happen. Because without respect, there will be no trust. And you also need open communication. Open communication is key. If you are afraid to talk to your spouse, your partner, you get out the relationship. That's what I say. Some people are, "No, Roxy, no." If you can't talk to the person that you say you love, how is that a relationship? That's what I think. If anyone has an opinion, please let me know. please let me know. I'd love to hear it.
Most relationships that fail because of a lack of communication. Yeah.
And equality. You know, you have to know you're both equal. You know, yes, my husband is the head of our household, but we're equal. We're equal partners in what we do. And I think people lose that. You know, some men want to be the head of everything. Some women want to make sure that they're ruling everything. It's an equal partnership. And when you have an equal respect, trust, open communication, you'll have an equal partnership. And I think those are some of the things that we're lacking. And you have to have a shared and understanding and interest in each other's interest.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of things my husband loves, I don't love, but I will sit there and I'll watch it. I can't stand wrestling. I don't really care for what the cowboy Western movies, but I will sit there and I will engage and I will watch it because that's what he loves. You see what I'm saying? He'll sit down and he'll watch my Marvel comics, and I'm a Marvel, you know, I'm a comic girl. He'll sit down and he'll go ahead and watch all of that with me. It's called shared. Yeah, there it is. It's just showing interest. When you can show interest in someone else's interest, it shows that you care. You don't really have to like it. It just shows that what they like, you cared enough to say, you know what? Let me just take an interest in it. That's it. It's not going to kill me to watch stupid cowboys on horses wield guns and shoot. It's not, Cliff, it's not going to kill me to watch that a little bit. You know, understanding.
At least we know when we're watching TV the guns aren't real.
Back then, no. Back then, no. And an understanding. I think you have to understand. And understanding is knowing that if your spouse or your partner decided, you know what, I just want to go ahead and just have a 5-minute, that they have 5 minutes to themselves. I think that's important. Honesty, caring, we all know what that entails. But this is one that I really like. I was trying to rush because I really wanted to get to this one, emotional support. So emotional support also comes with mental support. If you cannot be there emotionally for someone, two things I think are going to happen. You're either going to tear them down. You either build someone up by showing emotional support, or you tear someone down. And I think that's where the mental health of a good relationship comes in. I don't know how you feel about it, but you know, when you're with someone and you're going through something and someone is there to just sit down and listen or understand, imagine how that makes you feel. You know, you have that support. You have that connection. You're having a bad day. You can come home and you can say, you know, and you can talk about it. You know, it's just you talk and you have someone there to listen. You know, you're feeling out of control. Certain things are going on. You know, you want to get that. I have someone that just gave me a message. Let's see what that is here.
Now, there's a chat room on the Facebook feed of this show. So you can watch along on the Facebook and actually comment on the show in the chat box.
I have some Pansy that said, so true. I started watching basketball with my hubby because he loves it. Now she loves the game. Now you have, thank you, Miss Pansy. Now you two have an interest. You have something that he's interested. And I guarantee that if you know he sees that you're showing interest in something, he's going to start showing interest in something you like. Because it's vice versa. It's a give and take. It's not about taking, and just doing for someone. It's about giving and taking and learning to do something and learning to share. And I think we've lost that in healthy relationships. We've lost that. You know, you come home, I'm just going to go to, some men think you're supposed to just be in the kitchen and cooking and doing what you got to do. What happened with you see your spouse in the kitchen cooking? What happens about you coming in and you helping wash the dishes? Hey, you might not put them away, but at least you wash them. Or if she's washing them, you put them away, you know, or he or she feels like something's out of control. You know, you can sit down and you can sympathize with them. You know, healthy relationships and mental stability, I think that kind of goes hand in hand. Because if you're not having a healthy relationship, you feel like you're losing it. And you never want to feel like you're losing something in your relationship. I think that's more important than anything. But we want to go over that. You need to get to know yourself. So you've taken the time to appreciate yourself. You got in touch with yourself. You got in touch with your emotions. Now you can express yourself clearly and effortlessly. You can regulate your emotions. You can express, and now you're not feeling that effect of anything, any negative mental beings on you. You're free. You know who you are, and now you decide to put that to work. Now that you're loving yourself, you put that to work. So now it's time to look for a healthy relationship. Healthy relationships are not found, they are built. So you can't find the perfect man and say, "Oh, I found a perfect relationship." I have to get to know Cliff. After I get to know Cliff, me and Cliff have been working together going on 3 years.
That long?
Yes, Cliff, can you believe it?
Wow. Great shows cause you to have fun while working.
While
with them.
working. So
Time flies.
you build, when I first met Cliff, it was, "Hi, Cliff, thank you so much." Now I got my grandbaby calling him Papa Cliff. My husband knows who he is. Everybody knows who he is. Got his wife's number. It's you build on a relationship. You put in the work. A healthy relationship needs commitment and a willingness to be accommodating to each other. So we're not just talking about healthy relationships. We're not just talking about healthy relationships within a couple. We're talking about healthy relationships within friends, among family. That's what we're talking about. Those are healthy relationships. It could be anyone, anytime, but you need healthy relationships. And we want individuals to remember that. It's not just couples we're talking about. So after you put that to work, you now need to set boundaries. You have a relationship. Now, what boundaries do you set? Because every friendship, every relationship that you work on has to have boundaries. You know how far to push a person. And I think that's important. Some people don't realize that every relationship has boundaries. And how far are you willing to push that boundary? Cliff, how far are you willing to push Karen?
I'm the one that got her started liking wrestling. I used to bring her to wrestling matches, and
Really?
I got to be a ring announcer a little bit, a couple times, just
Yeah.
like Evan Nine does.
Oh, okay.
And well, now if it's got anything to do with wrestling, she's right there,
He's right there.
and I better keep up with her
Yeah.
because, well, she remembers those were some good old days. We got to go backstage, with the actual wrestlers and saw them plotting their courses for the matches of the night, and we were amazed that all these good guys and bad guys were all buddies and pals and friends with each other.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And what they were doing, a lot of it was choreographed, but there were some real moves that could be really painful.
Oh, yeah. And hey, a lot of broke legs and arms, concussions, and a lot of stuff.
You have to learn how to fall. You got to learn how to know how to hit that ring correctly.
Yeah. So, you don't want to push anybody to that limit. So that's why you have boundaries. Setting boundaries is not only about what you don't want or like in your relationship, but also about letting the people around you know what you appreciate. When you think about and you let others know about your boundaries, you're respecting of their time, and they're respecting you. So they know, okay, you know what? I can only push Roxy this far. And doing that can take the pressure off any relationship or commitment or any unrealistic goal someone has.
You
and
don't
that
want to
goes
wake up
with
the mama
friendships.
bear either.
Yeah, you don't want to make up some mama bears, definitely. So setting respectable boundaries is a good thing. The next thing I think all of us have a problem with is talk and listen. I think that's number one. All relationships have disagreements, whether you're friendships, whether you're in any type of relationship. And that's okay to have an argument. But what matters is how you talk and how you listen to one another. One person cannot be screaming, the other person can't talk. You have to listen to understand rather than listening to respond. And I like that. You can listen and understand what the next person's telling you, and you will be able to fix the problem. But if you listen just to say how I'm going to counteract and how I'm going to defend myself and how I'm going to respond and how I'm going to let you know how I feel, then what's going to happen is going to cause the argument. It's never going to get better.
Can't treat life like a debate.
No, you can't have a relationship like a debate. It's not going to work. Those debates turn out ugly, as we all know, but we're not going down that road.
No.
So, and you cannot be afraid to express your emotions or your vulnerability with people you trust. And I know that is a big, big thing in the society we live in, because the minute you say something to a friend or the minute you say something to someone, the first thing, Cliff is going to hate what I'm going to do right now. They get on keyboard and they get on social media, and they start telling people. You have to have your circle very tight-knit to know that when you talk to someone, it stays in that space. A lot of people say, Roxy, we don't really see you nowhere. You don't see me because I don't like you.
Wow.
A lot of people say, oh, my goodness, I'm being real. If I don't go somewhere, it's because there's something about it I don't like. And why should I take my time and my effort and my energy to go ahead and facilitate you or what you're going to say, and I don't like you? So I'm wasting my time. And I think if people were real like that, a lot less things would happen. You have to you have to have your circle close. And you have to know, it's called loyalty. And you have to know what to say, when to say it, and when to shut up. And a lot of people don't know how to do that.
And protective hedges we can build around ourselves and
our
our
I got a
families.
good protective hedge. My hedge has barbed wire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my hedge has barbed wire because you got to be careful, especially in the industry I'm in. I don't need anyone saying anything. Yeah. So my circle is very tight. And I know what I say. It used to be when I talk to someone, I'd actually write down what I told that person. So I know whatever I told you, only you know. So if I hear it again, guess what? I know it's Cliff.
You know where it came from.
I know where it came from. But sometimes you have to do that. And that's important. So we have to remember, I'm going to say it again, we can't be afraid to express ourselves with our emotions or our vulnerabilities. And what you have to do is keep your circle close and keep the people within you very tight, because that's important. That's very, very, very important. And the next one we have is let go of control. Woo! Cliff, that's a big one.
Let go of control?
Let go of control.
Why would anybody ever want to do that?
Well, let's find out after we come back from our break.
That's a great cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. You're killing me.
We'll be back. We'll be back with more Careology.
Careology on healthy relationships, what and what not to do. We'll be back after these messages from our sponsor. We couldn't do it without them.
All I really need to do is learn when to keep my big mouth shut.
Hey.
We'll be right back.
Make new rules for the road. Ready, set, go. The best-selling SUV in America, the RAV4. More performance, more refined, more sport, more utility. Find your Toyota. Let's go places. Treasure Coast Toyota of Stewart. Today, tomorrow, Toyota. A proud sponsor of Careology. Every Tuesday at 6:05 p.m. Caring and supporting our community. Trust Toyota to be here for you. Create custom business signage that customers can't miss or resist. Let Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie help you get the job done right. Over 80 years combined experience. Get it right the first time. Call 772-337-4027 and tell them Roxy said to call. Remember, call 772-337-4020. Design a Sign in Port St. Lucie. Thinking of building your next home or renovating? Come see us at Grozer Builders. We will create a home suited for your lifestyle. With years of experience means we give you a complete professional service from a dream to a concept. You will get the best results, best value, best quality is what you get from Grozer Builders. Visit us at grozerbuilders.com. You deserve better. You deserve Grozer.
And now back to Careology, the science and art of caring. And once again, here is your host, the one and only Roxy Brown.
Thank you, everyone. And for those, thank you, listen on social media. Thank you. We just finished our commercial break. Thanks to Lexus and the Woods family. We are so grateful on our 3 years going into Careology here on WPSL. And we just want to say thank you so much for your support. We have the Groza Builders family. We have Design Assign. We have Two Men in a Truck. We have Elite Electric and Plumbing. We just want to thank so many people that have just supported us in everything that we've done. And without you, we couldn't do it. So we really want to say thank you. And to all our listeners all over the world, Cliff, we just say thank you. I get messages from people, Australia, Holland. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So, Careology is about giving back to our community, giving you information that happens on the Treasure Coast and that cannot happen. That can happen in your life. Tonight, we're talking about healthy relationships and the mental capacity of just trying to overcome. And the one thing that we're talking about that we need to do more than anything else is love yourself. So the beginning of a healthy relationship is get to know yourself. Get to know yourself is get to love yourself. You can't expect anyone to shower you with love if you're not showering with love. It's not going to work, people. Male or female, dog or cat. It is not going to work. You can't expect someone to pour all this love into you and you are doubting yourself, doubting the love for yourself every time you look in the mirror, every time you wake up. So that's important. Then we have to put in the work. Relationships, if you get a relationship, relationships don't happen the minute you say, good morning, how are you? Do you want to go for coffee? Relationships take time. You build on relationships. And when you start working and building on relationships, you have to put in the work. And the next one we talked about was to set respectful boundaries. When you set respectful boundaries and that person or where you are, how far you can go, that's less arguing. That's less anything that's going to happen. You have to have boundaries. And the next one, which I think is I think this is the most important one, talk and listen. Listen to understand rather than listening to respond. If you're listening and you're understanding what the person is telling you, when you respond, it's going to come from a healthy and helpful place. If you're listening to respond, you're listening and you're just hearing all the negativities of what you did instead of what I would like to happen. And then you respond just with your guard and that wall, that hedge with the barbed wire up. So you have to have that graceful listening to say, okay, I hear what you say and I understand. And now you give your version of what you would like or how you would like the person to respond. Those are what we've covered so far. So the next one we took before we took our commercial break was let go of control. Now, Cliff, that's a big one.
Well, yeah.
I don't know about anyone else. That's a big one for me. Let go of control. Because like Janet Jackson, control. I like to be in control.
I like to try to take control of my life because it seems as if I don't, it gets out of control.
But see, this is the thing. When you're in a relationship, you can't have all the control.
No.
You can't have all the control. A lot of life is about how we react to the experiences and encounters, knowing that you can only really control what you do and not what anyone else does. It saves you time and stress. So when you're in a relationship, you can't control the next person because they already know what they're going to do. And when you try to control them, it covers everything. You're not talking, you're not listening, you're not setting boundaries with them. You don't know them and you don't know yourself. So you can't take control of someone else's life. It's called planning. You can try and plan together. If you plan together, then that's different.
But if you plan to change somebody, you could fail easily if you're not careful. If you want somebody to change, you got to change yourself first.
Yeah.
You have to make the change yourself, because the change in you might be observed by the other that you'd like to change certain ways of. You can't always get your wish when it
But
comes to
you
that.
know what? It's not really changing the person. So this is how I look at it, and this is just coming from the Careologist. I could be totally wrong, but this is how this is my personal. It's my radio show, so it's my thought. We're just gonna drop it. We're just gonna
You're
drop.
allowed.
I'm
Your
allowed to
radio
do it. It's
show.
my
Yeah.
radio show.
Yeah.
But this is how I look at it. This is letting go of control. If you're in a relationship with someone and you want them to do something and they're in a relationship with you, listen, it's not you're in the relationship. They got to know they're in the relationship, people, male and female. You can't think you're the only one in the relationship. Both of you have to know you're in the relationship. So when both of you know you're in the relationship, and for instance, Cliff, we're going to talk about us. Me and Cliff are in a relationship. I'm a host and he's an engineer. Correct, Cliff?
Yeah,
That's it. So I know that when I'm at the station, I know I can't keep banging my hands on the table because Cliff has these massive headphones, and when I bang, that vibration hits his eardrum.
All you gotta do is just touch your nails on the
Just touch
microphone
my nails
stand
like
or
this
something,
and
yeah.
he can hear it. So in our healthy relationship that we have here, my boundaries are set that I know. I put my mic on a little rag. We have like a little carpet here. Those sample carpets you get, we have one here. And it's on there. And I know that I don't hit it. I know that's our boundaries.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I know that's what makes him happy. So when I know that makes him happy, if I want to have a good show, because without Cliff, I can't have a good show. I got no engineer. So those are the boundaries that's the control. So it's not about letting go of control. It's about knowing what the other person likes and knowing what the other person dislikes. And if you know someone dislikes something, you let go of it, because it's not going to go ahead and make for a healthy relationship. If I keep coming in here every Tuesday and banging on here, I'm going to come here one day and Cliff won't be here. I'm tired. I keep telling Roxy to do this and she keeps doing it. That's the control we're talking about. We're not talking about you better go where I go. The control is having respect for the boundaries that you set with someone and having control that you can respect that.
Well,
That's how I look at it.
Every show is a goal to get the best information out that we can when
Yeah.
it comes to Careology.
Yeah.
And the more that we can pass on to listeners about caring and Careology, it might just get contagious.
Yeah.
To the advantage of everybody.
Yeah, and I think that's something that's important. So we got to remember, a lot of life is not how we react to our experiences and our encounters, knowing that you can only really control what you do and not what anyone else does. That will save you time and stress. So that's what letting go of control is. Knowing what you can do. If you have someone in a relationship, whether it's a friend, a coworker, whatever, you do what you do and you let them do what they do. You cannot be in control of what someone else does. You got to let it go. That's the problem. A lot of us want to handle everything. We want to handle our business, their business, your business, and everyone else's business. We need to be in control of us. And we need to let John, Jim, Jane, and Jackie deal with themselves. If they need your help, this is where they come and talk to you now. You see what I'm saying? This is where we talk and learn about what we're going on. The next one I want to talk to you about is reflect and learn. So someone is saying, reflect and learn in a relationship. Where does that come in? If you have a healthy way of expressing your feelings, you're able to react to other people in a healthy way. I think that's important. I think that's more important than anywhere. Being angry with someone all the time often comes from a place of feeling hurt or upset. So if you're constantly angry, that means they've done something to you and you haven't had the conversation with, listen, Cliff, you've done this to me and I'm just not happy with it. I had my drink here and I saw you sucking it down the straw. Please don't do that every Tuesday. You know, you have to talk about it.
What are you drinking this week?
Half sweet, half unsweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I need it for the throat. Yeah. And if you can recognize that, you know, if you recognize that you're hurt, you recognize you're upset, and you can communicate that, you will build a better relationship with others. You know, reflecting on relationships that work best in your life, what qualifies do these relationships have? And how can you bring these qualifications into other relationships? So if you're feeling upset about something, if you had a relationship and you know the smell of toast in the burnt toast every morning just really makes you sick and that messes up your whole day, when you go into the next relationship, you tell the next person, I don't like toast. Because toast is going to burn. I made toast yesterday and I did one thing. I walked to the garage and I came back and I was like, dag, burnt the toast again. Just by that quick second, you got to sit right there and watch the toast. So if you know certain, and I'm just using that as a quirky example, if you know you have things from your other relationship that really got on your last living nerve, and you know it's going to mess up the next relationship you're in, communication is talk about it. Because when you talk about it, it's all going to go good.
If you think ending a relationship is going to make the problem go away, guess what? It'll follow you to the next relationship.
That's right. So you have to talk about it, or you have to find a way to just deal with it. That's important. You have to find a way to deal with it. And if you're not talking about it, a lot of people get in relationships, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to scare him or her away. You're going to scare him and her away 2-3 years in after you've invested and wasted all this time because you were too chicken to go ahead and talk about what bothered you. Time is something you don't get back. I don't think people realize that. You just don't get these things back, from, by spending all this time. You have to know that. And that's something that I think is very, very important. And we just wanted to share this, with our listeners. We're coming up. We had Valentine's Day, and a lot of people went out, and and we're doing this and we're doing that. And Valentine's Day can be just good friends, and healthy relationship skills I think is missing. They used to teach that in school. The same way they used to teach sewing and home economics, they used to teach about the values. And because all of that is missing, people don't know how to be a good friend. People don't know how to be respectful. People don't know how to deal with conflict resolution, to have empathy, and to listen. People just don't know how to do that anymore. And because of this now, this is what we get into. We get into just not knowing how to build and maintain a healthy relationship. And it can go with your friends, and it can go with just friends. Healthy. If you know how to keep friends, then you can have a healthy relationship. Someone that cannot keep a friend cannot have a healthy relationship.
There you go.
That's basically it. So if you meet someone and they say, I don't have a friend, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and if you really don't have a friend, there's probably a reason for it. And then, of course, it's not up to that friend of yours to change themselves into what you've become. Everybody needs to, if they can't change somebody, go ahead and change yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the best way to do it, because I would do that when people try to keep up with you, I used to get an occasional fan club, and they thought they had to, anything I did, they had to do. If I grew my hair long or grew a beard or something,
they had to do the same thing.
And after a while, I started getting them all confused, because they'd see me with hair 3 feet long and a big old ponytail halfway to the floor, and then they'd see me bald-headed with a few whiskers here and there, and it's like, who are you? Mm-hmm. What have you? Where is Cliff Desmond, and what have you done with him?
Well, no, but I think with everything we talked about, I think the most important one with healthy relationships is communication.
Yeah, that's it.
After loving yourself, you have to have communication, because you can't read your friend's mind. You can't read your spouse's mind. You can't read your partner's mind. You can't read someone else's mind. You need to speak. And if you speak, you have to set a time to speak with each other without interruption. You know what, Cliff? I really have something to tell you. If you can hold and pause or put a pin in it for 2 minutes and let me just tell you what I got to tell you, then guess what? Cliff would sit there. Cliff would listen.
I was ready to take a break.
And he was ready to take a break. And he would listen to what I'm trying to say. But the point is, you have to pause.
Yeah.
You have to take a little pause, and you have to say, okay, and listen. And then put yourself in the other person's shoes. That is something that I try to do. I don't do it all the time, but that is something I really, really try to do. If I was sitting in your shoes, wearing your shoes, and the situation was reversed, how would I want to feel? And that's how I base a lot of what I do on.
Without you having to put my shoes on, you want to try somebody else's shoes, I got a good little exercise for us. You see, a man marries a woman hoping that she'll never change, and she does. And then a woman will marry a man, hoping that
he changes, and he never does.
And he never does.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a joke played on mankind, but if we'd care a little more and pay attention and smarten up some, it wouldn't be so hard for us to do something simple like caring.
Yeah, that's it. Just put yourself in the other person's shoe. And the next one I want to share is don't rely on other people to guess what's going on how you're feeling. That absolutely kills me. You see someone and they look absolutely, utterly miserable. Hey, Cliff, how you feeling? I'm okay. You know they're not okay. You want us to figure it out. We can't figure it out because you haven't told us. That's like asking an infant, can you talk to me that just came out the womb? We're adults, and we're not going to try to put the pieces of the puzzle together. We don't have time. So when we walk away, when we say, okay, if I know someone's miserable, I'll ask you 2 times. The first time is to get the courage. The second time is to tell me. After that, I'm done. I'm just done. Or I prefer you to say, you know what, I'm going through something, but I'm figuring it out. I just need some time. Because that's how people care. Then what happened, people get upset when no one calls you, when no one asks you what's going on, when no one is trying to say, how can I help you? Because we've asked so much and you've turned a cold shoulder to it so much that people stop asking. I don't think people realize that. It's like the wolf, or the boy that cried wolf.
Oh, yeah.
You can cry wolf so many times, but after a while, people are going to stop asking. People are going to stop.
The villagers will stop assembling quickly in your behalf when they realize that you're just putting everybody on.
Yeah, so people are going to ask, but if they keep reaching a wall and keep boom, 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 hitting on the wall, then they're going to stop. So after they stop, they're not going to start asking anymore, So we need to really pay attention to that. The next one that we want to touch on is listening to each other. Make sure the other person knows you're listening to them. So when someone's talking, I think we lost the eye contact. If you're with someone that you can multitask, sometimes I'm out with a friend and I say, girl, I'm listening to you, but I'm just answering this email or answering this text. If you're with someone that you can do that and you have that, you and them have that understanding, that's okay. But if it's something serious and someone is in need of your attention, give them your attention. Put down the phone. Put the phone down for 5. They're telling you their mother just passed and they don't know what to do. That's the time you put the phone down. You put the phone down, you listen, and that's it. That's what you do. You put the phone down and you listen because it's needed. It's undivided attention that is really, really needed. So that's very important. Thank you, Janelle. The next thing we want to do is let the other person finish what they're saying. Now, I'm going to let everybody know. I do radio. That's a bad habit of mine. Someone's talking, Cliff, and I get a great idea, but I'm catching myself now. I start saying, excuse me, could we pause? Could we put a pin in it? Because if I get a great idea, it'll leave me. That's one of my vices that I'm working on. I can hear my husband clapping and singing and shouting hallelujah. I will interrupt you, but I know that's my vice. So when I do that, I say, excuse me, I interrupted you. I'm sorry. But let us try to let the other person finish what they're saying. And let's talk about things honestly and respectfully. Don't make stuff up. Just have a conversation. If you don't have nothing to say, sip your tea, sip your drink. Talk about yourself. Don't make stuff up. Have a nice, respectful conversation because you're going to repeat it again and it's going to go all wrong. Ooh. Because sometimes I talk to a friend like Roxy, I believe you told me that. I'm like, hey, the truth never changes. That's it. My daddy used to say that. If you say something, the truth doesn't change. So remember that. Try not to be too defensive. I think all of us have that button. Someone's trying to tell you something, corrective criticism, and we just jump the gun. We come out with the artillery, ready to go. We need to just kind of take a deep breath and just inhale and exhale. Just breathe. Don't get so defensive about when someone tells you, because some things are just constructive criticism. And if they're a good friend, you'll take it. You'll take it. That's part of the healthy relationships. And stay calm and try not to be on the attack. Because if you're always on the attack, your relationship is not going to work.
And you'll be categorized as a bully or something.
Yeah, not only that, but you have to remember that to maintain a healthy relationship, you have to be clear of what you want. You have to say sorry when you're wrong. You have to, be affectionate and show appreciation. And you have to make the relationship that you have, whether if it's a friend, male, female, doesn't matter. You have to make that relationship your priority. You have to develop shared interest and working on feeling good about yourself. You can't let that relationship take all of you, because you are a singular individual. Your relationship is a relationship, so it's working together, and that's what we want to know. So,
well, we don't always have to get the last word. It's all right to let somebody else get it sometimes. In fact, it would be the right thing to do to probably go ahead and just let a friend have the last word, just so that they'll understand that, they're not quite making their point like they should. But, what I said about men and women have these different expectations, there's a big myth out there that the guys don't like me talking about, the myth of the alpha male in the group. Because I don't believe in alpha males. I don't think there's a such thing as the alpha male. I mean, there's people who think they are an alpha male, but you look where the alpha really is, even in the animal kingdom, it's the mama bear. When we talk about the mama bear, we're talking about a way somebody gets awfully defensive all of a sudden over a child or something. That's a mama bear. That's a natural instinct. It is. Yeah, and that's all there is to it, and it's that easy. And you can understand things a whole lot better if you just stop a minute and think about it. You putting yourself in somebody else's shoes.
That is true. Which
is hard to do, because you heard the story that the man said that he cried when he had no shoes until he met a man who had no feet.
But that kind of says it all.
Yeah.
That kind of says it all. We all have vices. We all have things we complain about. But, I'm around friends. Oh my God, I want to be in a relationship. What do you bring into a relationship? Whether it's friends, whether it's, spouse, whether it's a job, whether it's anything. Our friends that talk about relationships on all different levels. But the problem is, what do you bring into a relationship? Someone always wants to know, what are you bringing? That's a question you can ask yourself. What do you bring into your relationship? Is it worth, are you giving or are you taking away? You have some friends that, in some relationships, that you just suck the person dry. It's always you. It's never them. It has to be a give and take. It has to be both ways. So when you think of a relationship, think of, what am I bringing to the table? It's a potluck. Everybody brings something. If nobody brings anything, the table is empty. No one has anything to eat. The table is empty. When everybody brings a little bit, you see how full that table is. You have leftovers among leftovers. You have so much to give. You're just running over. That's what a relationship is. It's a potluck, and you got to bring it. If you're not bringing it, then there's nothing.
Love is not something that you fall into like a pit or a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you have to nurture and grow.
That's it. It takes time. It takes time, and it takes value, and that's what a good, healthy relationship is. It kills me when you meet somebody. Oh, I found the man in my dreams. Oh, how long you been married? Oh, we've been dating 2 weeks. Are you joking me?
Wow.
It takes longer than 2 weeks to train a good dog.
Oh, yeah. You're going to find out if it's a bad dog quite quickly.
Very quickly.
Sometimes you make yourself way too vulnerable
Yes.
Picking up strays,
I love that one, Cliff. Picking up strays. I'm gonna have. Well, that's it. If you get in a relationship and you're just jumping at the first thing you see, you're picking up a stray. You don't know the relationship that dog's been in. You don't know
Right.
the relationship. You don't know. You don't know. That's why they take dogs to the pound.
Yeah.
That's why they teach them. That's why they train them, because they don't know what household they came from. And if you can do that with animals,
Yeah.
why are we rushing into relationships and it's not good? You don't know what you're picking up.
Yeah.
You're picking up fleas, this and all of that. Come on, people.
Parvo.
It goes for both male and female.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I can't even believe our time went this quickly.
Wow. It really
Our time
has.
went this quickly, but we're talking about healthy relationships and how to maintain healthy relationships. And first and foremost, you got to love yourself. You go into healthy relationships, they take time. And when you put the time into it, it's like going to school. You go to school, if you want a great profession, it takes you weeks, years, months to master what you need.
Wow.
And
You
that
can't
is
just
what you
fall
need.
into it.
You can't. Falling in love, like Cliff said, is not falling into a hole or a pit. You got to take your time. And that's what we want. We want everyone to have good, healthy relationships. And that's where we're going to leave it at, Cliff.
All right.
I think that's where we're going to leave it at. Just remember, as you love yourself and you starting a new relationship, take the baby steps. Act like you're walking on thin ice. Take the baby steps. Listen. Learn how to have control, learn how to have balance, learn how to take deep breaths, because that's what you're going. You're just taking baby steps. You want to nurture what you have.
Yeah.
You don't want to, because if you step too fast, you're going to break the ice.
That's right. You don't want to run across the lake because the ice gets thinner the further out you get.
There you go.
And you got to know when to stop and turn around and go back.
And you know what people forget? I'm going to say this last thing. The one thing people forget, the longer you're together, the more people let down their guard.
There you go.
And when people let down their guard, what happens? You get to see the real me. You don't see the real me in a 2 months and 6 weeks. All of that is a facade. When the person is very comfortable with you, the guard goes down.
That's when you got to watch things.
That's when you start seeing things, and that's what we want you to know. Careology just wants healthy relationships, and any relationship that you're in. Friendship, man, woman, it doesn't matter. So that's how we're going to relieve it. You want a good, healthy relationship? Start with loving yourself, start with listening, and start remembering at Careology from your Careologist. Love is in the air. Love yourself, and all will be good.
Trust yourself, too.
Trust yourself. Trust your instincts. Man and woman, trust your instincts. If it don't feel good, don't do it. Bye-bye. This is Roxy. We'll see you next week. I'm going to have a special friend with me next week. Can't wait to see you. Have a good evening. Get home safely. Say bye-bye. You want to say bye-bye?